I'm Dora Noan Beldotan in Sfatan, Israel. And there's something that I need to say to the rabbis, particularly those in the diaspora, whose culpability is doubled and redoubled. What I have to say is, I don't forgive you, rabbis. Forgiveness can only come after tshuva is made, guilt is admitted, and restitution, insofar as one is able, is offered and made. Rabbis, I don't forgive you for what you did to my people. I don't forgive you for arrogating the position of the Nevi'im and teaching a false teaching of Torah. I don't forgive you for the errors in Torah interpretation, and I think that when it first began it was entirely deliberate. That led to our diaspora. You dragged us into the diaspora twice. Your forebears, they used to call them then Nevi'ei Shekel. You're not even on the level of a Nevi Shekel. You're just an ordinary liar. And then through 2,000 years of hell in the diaspora, it was you that brought the scourge of Christianity on the world with your erroneous interpretations. They in turn brought Islam into being, and so you are directly responsible for two barbarian hordes being loosed on the Jewish people. You are guilty of teaching us worse than that. You are guilty of having enslaved us to learning incorrectly and thereby bringing into being a world in which unspeakable atrocities can be committed. If we were learning Torah correctly, that could not happen. You deliberately kidnap our children and take them into the yeshiva world and begin to break their spirit and distort their souls and teach them incorrect Torah. The practice of pedophilia is widely used as a tool in the yeshiva world to break the spirit of the boys, to completely undermine their faith in themselves, and to fracture their consciousness so that part of them is always in denial. That same denial and that same insecurity about their own judgment prevents them then from being able to recognize when you rabbis teach Torah incorrectly. Now, I recognize that this did not arise lately. I've said this goes back thousands of years. But even if we are victims of the worst kind of mind and emotions control, which the boys in the yeshiva world most certainly are, we still have a measure of free will and being able to make a choice. And there have been many people who have left religious homes and the yeshiva world in order to be able to get away from it. Unfortunately, very few of them are able to realize that they're not running away from the actual religion. They're running away from the ersatz that you have invented. And so rather than leaving the yeshiva world and asking Hashem to be shown the truth, they simply go out and become frei, secular. If you rabbis had not taught us incorrect Torah, what we suffered in the diaspora would not have happened and could not have happened. And don't try to Miriam bat Bilga me. I am not the wife of a Greek officer. My husband is an Israeli-born expert in the Hebrew language. I know exactly what I'm saying, and I'm not saying it because I've left Torah, but because I love the true tradition, and I can see clearly what you've done to us. And it is appalling. It is abysmal. I don't even know how you can clean up and act like that, but you can at least try. The whole economic system is distorted because of your prosbul. The whole banking system, the whole capitalist system wouldn't be that way if you would have kept Hashem's laws in regard to the Shmitot and the Yovlim. Because the Jewish people didn't know Torah correctly and didn't know that Torah teaches us how to determine the laws of nature, that it's not about doing weird ceremonies, the Gentiles could not have committed the expulsions, the Inquisition, the pogroms, the Holocaust. They could not have impoverished us. They could not have persecuted us. It was you who gave them the power to be able to do that. It was you who taught that the neshama is a spiritual matter, rather than anyone who can see basic Hebrew could see that the letter nun in neshama is Adama. So neshama becomes Ha'adama Shali, my land. You divested us of our holding in the world and made us believe in some kind of spiritual crap. The name Hashem, the letters 26 adds up to Ha'achuza, the holding, the land. You took us out of the world and had us floating in some kind of spiritual soup for 2,000 years. And when the world in which we were living, that we couldn't protect ourselves from because we hadn't learned Torah correctly to know how to control the laws of nature, became unbearable, you invented garbage like Sefer HaZohar, to have people floating in the stratosphere, in the spheres, because you had taken us away from our land. You had taken us away from learning Torah in the way that creates the land that is called Israel. You did all this to us. You changed the spellings of words. You changed the meanings of terms. You made the doing of the mitzvot into weird ceremonies, pagan, mystical, dark ceremonies. The Brit Milah is not the Brit Milah the way you do it. The Brit Milah is the transformation of ordinary flesh into purity that is so high that it becomes eternal. That's the real Brit. And it's a long and difficult process. We have to literally transform all of our body into the living embodiment of Hashem in the world. You told us that Hashem was a God to worship, instead of a state of being that had to be brought into being and then carefully nurtured, carefully gardened, carefully tended to. And that is the real meaning of Shmirat Shabbat. To keep Shabbat is to keep literally where you're sitting, to keep your holding clean and pure. You didn't teach us any of these things. You taught us lies. I realize that you too were taught lies by the people that you trusted the most. And with it all, you should have had the courage to listen to your heart. Because everyone who is a Jew has the forefathers and the judges and the Nevi'im in their bodies. We inherited our bodies from them. The sound of the blood coursing through our body, coursing through our veins, is the vocalization of how they learn Torah. And at any minute we can hook into that and hear it and feel it and experience it and do real tshuva. You taught us that tshuva was to do more of your weird ceremonies. You never taught us what real tshuva was. You lied to us. You cheated us. You made us vulnerable. You threw us to the beasts of Christianity and Islam to do with us as they wished. And we didn't know that we could at any time determine the laws of nature to be able to protect ourselves from that. Idol worship is making something yourself and then worshiping that which you made and becoming subservient to it, to become the slave of that which you made. You taught us that that means just the making of statues and other idols. You didn't. You committed the worst kind of idol worship that there is. You created a world that you became enslaved to. The deepest, most horrible level of avodah zarah, of idol worship, is a Jew who creates a world not even knowing that they're doing it because they're just obeying what they're being told, and then becoming wholly enmeshed in that world and not being able to protect themselves from the vagaries of that world and the arbitrariness of that world and the dangers of that world. That is the deepest level of Avodah Zarah. Because you have not asked for forgiveness for that. And I think in your heart of hearts you know it's true. Because I've shown you enough Torah with proofs so that you know that my interpretations are the correct ones. Yet and still you stubbornly refuse to accept the truth of Torah. You know damn well that I don't want to be a teacher, and I'm not setting myself up as some kind of a business person or I don't know what. All I want is for the Jewish people to return to true Torah, which is exactly as Hanavi Micha describes it. It is that simple. Hashem doesn't want us doing all kinds of ceremonies, then minhagim, and then the chumrot, and then the chumrot on the minhagim. It's not that complicated. It's not that heavy. All Hashem wants is for us to know how to create a beautiful world, how to create a beautiful garden, and live in it, and enjoy it, and share it with others. That's what's going on here. I cannot forgive you, because it wouldn't be good for you if I forgived you. I cannot let you off easily for the cosmic sin that you have created. I cannot. It would be a disservice not only to the Jewish people, it would be also a disservice to you. If I see that you begin to admit the truth, that you begin to confess that you've made terrible mistakes, that you obeyed those who told you what to do, who obeyed those who told them what to do, and so forth and so on, that you didn't have the strength and the courage and the spine to be able to stop and think and say, wait a second, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't look right, and the results we're getting from this aren't right. To admit that to us, to be ready to make it up to the Jewish people, to come down off your high horses and just be shavim ben shavim, just be one of the folks, not think that you're some kind of an elite. You think you're some kind of elite, that you're just some kind of geniuses. Do you have any idea, rabbis, how stupid you sound to me? How embarrassed I am when you open your mouth and pure crap comes out of it. And then you have this like smug, kind of like a shtanz, you know, like a smug yet about being so stupid. Shame on you. When I see that you're willing to do real teshuvah, I'm not your address. This is between you and Hashem to say, we messed up big time, we messed up like Seder Godel Kasmi, you know, like serious mess up. How do we fix this? And then you come and you say to the Jewish people, we want to fix what we did. Then, and only then, can I begin to forgive you. Until such time, I'm telling you straight up that on Yom HaKippurim, I am going to ask Hashem to completely dismantle your empire. And I promise you, if I ask Hashem to do that, Hashem will do as I ask, and dismantle your empire completely. You see that it's cracking up now, don't you? You have until Yom HaKippurim this year to do real tshuva. Gmar Chatima Tova.